story of something a client said to me while I was doing her makeup that I will never forget. A couple of videos ago, somebody commented asking for this story, but honestly, I can't find the comment anymore, so if you guys find it, make sure you tag them below. This story takes place back when I used to work on boudoir shoots. And as I've mentioned before, for most of the women that would come in, this was a completely new experience. Some of which had never even worn makeup before. And it was my job as the makeup artist to make sure that they felt comfortable in what they were wearing and that they looked great on camera. At this particular shoot, I had about 5 or 6 clients coming in that day. The client that I'm focusing on this story came in somewhere in the middle. Meaning she wasn't my first client, but she also wasn't my last for the day. When you're working on set of a photo shoot, things can get kind of hectic, especially towards the middle of the shoot, because you're constantly trying to clean your brushes and reset up your station for the next person to come in, which is usually literally 10 minutes after the last one left. When my client came in, I asked her if she had a photo of what kind of makeup she wanted, or if she knew the vibe of the photo shoot she was going to be doing today. I was really just trying to feel her out and make sure that we had a good starting point set. My client was very shy, and she pretty much told me that she doesn't wear very much makeup ever and that she just wanted to make sure she felt beautiful. I pulled up some reference photos on Pinterest and asked her to look through a couple. After about 5 minutes of scrolling on Pinterest, my client looked up at me and told me she didn't want anything crazy, nothing too dark, and that actually she really liked the makeup I was wearing if I could just do the same thing I did to myself that morning. I don't remember exactly the look I was wearing that day, but I do remember it was something very simple and something that just made me feel pretty. I was extremely flattered, and so that's the look we did. I made sure to keep her foundation light, give her some nice warm tones in her contour, and really work with the eye shape while giving her something natural and beautiful. Other than that, my client didn't really say much. I could tell that she was a very shy, nervous woman. Right before she got up out of my chair to go into the photo shoot, I handed her a mirror. And like I said, she was extremely shy. She didn't really say much. But she did tell me that she loved it, and then she got up to go get dressed for her photo shoot. After that, my next client came in, and then the next, and then the next. And kind of in the back of my mind all day, I just kept wondering if that lady really did like her makeup, because she really didn't say much to me at all. And it would make me feel absolutely terrible if she didn't feel beautiful in those pictures. When I got home after the photo shoot, I unpacked my makeup kit, started washing all of my brushes, and I got a text message on my phone. It was from the client that I had been thinking about literally all day. She said she just really wanted me to know that she really appreciated the makeup I did for her earlier, and that was the most beautiful she had ever felt in her entire life. As a makeup artist, getting that text message was absolutely incredible, and that became one of my favorite parts of doing makeup, is that whenever they get out of my chair and look in the mirror, they feel absolutely beautiful. The look I did in this video is something that makes me feel beautiful, and I would love to see what makes you feel that way.
I'm gonna tell you the reason why I wasn't in my school's yearbook. Like, at all. You're not gonna find a single picture of me in there. Not even by accident. I'm not in it. Alright, so this was senior year. Being a senior is expensive. No freaking reason. Tell us they ain't gonna be paying for our pictures this year. We have to pay ourselves. It's just another thing that I didn't want to bother my parents with. Cap, gown, tassel, diploma cover. I already wasn't going on the school field trip. Like, I just couldn't afford anything else. I was thinking I could wait a little bit and then I could take the picture and it wouldn't be a big deal. I thought they would bring it to our attention. Turns out you needed to go out of your way to make an appointment and find your guidance counselor and just figure all this out on your own. Again, we hadn't been doing this the last 3 years, so I didn't feel like I needed to. Anyway, I completely missed the deadline for taking photos. Tell me, hey, you don't have a senior picture, so you're gonna have to go down to the studio and take a picture. Like, oh, okay. The studio is almost 2 hours from where I live, because I have to take a photo with that company. I go with my mom to take this picture at this studio. I had forgotten some sort of paperwork. They couldn't take me that day. It was already costing so much. I apologized to my mom like a million times. Cool with it, we go home and I book another appointment. Only to find out, part 2 to why I'm not in my school's yearbook. At all. I go to the studio for the second time, we do this whole shebang. Multiple outfits, lots of backdrops, make it a big deal. Tell me that I'll get my photos soon. So I get my photos in the mail. Of course, they're like the ones with the giant watermarks. Those are the ones that me and my family always keep because we ain't got money to be paying for photos like that. They told me that they would handle all of this and that I needed to go to this company to take these photos because they were connected to the school. My school never received the photos. They just assumed that because I missed the deadline, I wouldn't be submitting photos. They already made the yearbook? I don't know. I wasn't in there. Here's the crazy part. They actually came to my classroom and said, you're not in the yearbook. I was like, that's weird. I did this whole shebang and I went to this studio and they're like, hey, yeah, well, we're with the yearbook committee and we're taking photos of students who aren't in there. I'm like, oh, okay. In my head, I'm like, okay, an extra photo, I guess. At least this means I'm in there for good. They pull me outside, take a photo of me with their DSLR, say thank you, and go to a different classroom. Yearbook comes out, I don't buy it, my friend has one, I look at it, I'm not in there. The dozen photos I took at the studio, not the picture I took outside, nothing. Honestly, I don't really care.
I'm a senior in high school and I have a stepsister who is the same age as me. My mom and her dad have been married since we were 10. We both started school again yesterday. A couple of hours into my online class, my mom comes to my room to talk to me. She said that since I have more than enough money to put myself through college, how would I feel about sharing some of that money with my stepsister who does not have enough money? I lost my paternal grandparents 3 years after I lost my dad, so I inherited a lump sum of money. My mom and stepdad had saved some money, but a few crappy things happened to our house, so now apparently there's not enough for my stepsister to go to college. But I don't feel responsible to put her through college. I also don't feel like my paternal relative's money that's now mine should be used for her. She was nothing to them, and if we're being real, we have no relationship beyond living in the same house either. I told my mom no. She said she was disappointed in me. Later on that night, my mom and her husband pulled me into the kitchen to discuss some things. They told me I'm being selfish and that she's my sister. I said even if she is my sister, it's not my job to help her through college, and that's my money, and it will not be used for something I do not approve of. So it got me thinking, should I help my stepsister out?
This is the story of the time my client got arrested while I was doing her makeup. Disclaimer, this is not my story time. It was sent to me on Instagram. This story takes place whenever I used to be a traveling makeup artist. I would travel to my clients' homes or to their photo shoot destination. On this particular occasion, my client had asked me if I could meet her at her home because she had somewhere to be, but it wasn't for a photo shoot or anything like that. She never exactly told me what the event was she was going to, but I didn't want to ask a lot of questions because she seemed kind of nervous or shy. We set up the appointment, and a couple days before, she sent me her address, which I noticed was in kind of a sketchy part of town. But whenever I arrived at her home, it was absolutely gorgeous. This woman had 3 or 4 cars outside. Mind you, she lives alone. And as soon as you walked into the front door, there was a legit chandelier. My thought process at the time is that she must be some sort of fixer-upper, because her house was way nicer than all the other ones on the block. Aside from the cars and all the decorations in the house, the woman actually seemed pretty normal and very shy. When she greeted me at the door, she was wearing what I would wear if I was getting my makeup done, which is like sweatpants and a big t-shirt. She didn't say much, she just showed me the makeup look that she wanted me to do on her face, and she told me she was in kind of a hurry, so if we could do it as quickly as possible while still making it look good, she would really appreciate that. About halfway through me doing her makeup, my client said she had to take a really important phone call and that she would be back in just a second. I saw her get on her phone, walk outside, and she was out there for probably 15 minutes. I couldn't hear much, but towards the end of the conversation, I heard her start yelling, and then she calmly walked back in through the front door. She sat back down in my makeup chair and didn't say a word. I asked her if everything was okay, but again, she didn't say anything. She totally ignored my question. As a makeup artist, it's not my job to get into their business, so I just kind of let it go. Not even 5 minutes later, the police came busting through the front door. And I mean like full SWAT, kicked open the door, bulletproof vests, canines, everything. I was absolutely terrified because I had no idea what was going on. And as soon as my client saw the police come through the door, she picked up and ran.
Hey, she's a runner, she's a track star.
About 5 of the police officers took off running after her, and the rest came towards me. I put everything in my hands down, threw my hands up, and told them I was just here to do her makeup, that I was a makeup artist and she had scheduled an appointment in her home. They took me in for questioning just to make sure that I wasn't part of whatever scheme she was involved in. I wish I could say that after that I stopped going to clients' houses to do their makeup, but to be honest, no matter how terrifying that was, it was so crazy and exciting. I still do makeup in clients' homes. On the bright side though, at least she didn't have to go to jail looking all musty because her makeup was almost done, so I know that mugshot was super cute.